cultural norms, especially as most of us who do come from Africa, where young girls have been socialized to be relegated in the domestic sphere, but an intentional woman shapes the policies that change these narratives. An intentional woman is intentional with her living. An intentional woman knows that attention is cheap. An intentional woman does not reduce their standards. I'll stop here so that the audience can be able to ask their questions to you. I'll give an opportunity so the audience can be able to ask their questions directly to Her Royal Highness now. And also you can be able to share your thoughts, comments, or reflections, speaking directly to our sharings. If you like to speak, I think probably maybe you can do a raise of hand, and then maybe your mic can be unmuted from our end and you'll be able to speak. I see Duchess's hand is raised.
It's my hand. I have a question for Olori. Thank you so much, Olori, for that. And while you were talking, a thought came to my mind, because everyone wants to be intentional. Every woman will say, "Yeah, I'm intentional. I want to be intentional." But if you look at our younger people, because this is how Duchess actually started. When I was younger, I was actually looking for direction, because obviously some of us, we really need someone to really look up to, like a mentor. Or how do we help our younger women? Because in the world of social media, everyone wants to go very quickly. Everyone wants to be rich. They want to have their brand. And yes, you want to be intentional, but there's always a process. And I know you have a lovely foundation, Serenity Sisters, and I know you do a lot of work with younger women, with women. Can you talk us through it? Talk us through what you do in your organization and how you support younger women as well.
Okay, so in my organization, first of all, the first thing is bring them together. Before you are able to give anything to anyone, you must first bring them to yourself. Let them be confident that, okay, this person I'm with, or I'm going to be with, or having a conversation with is a good person. You might not be good, but first impression, they say, always matter. Now, the person needs to be comfortable enough to share ideas or concerns or worries with you. Now, when you get them to be able to do that, it is easy because they are able to open up to you.
Yeah.
For young children, what I do is I start with asking them what you want to be. Now, a lot of children will tell you, or a lot of young people will tell you, oh, I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a doctor, or someone even told me I want to be a teacher. And I asked her, okay, why do you want to be a teacher? Because she likes her teacher. Now, some people will say you want to be a teacher because you like your teacher. Might not sound like a very good reason, but anyone who wants to take after their teacher is because the teacher must have been doing something right. So let's use ourselves. What do we portray to the people around us? How do we make them who we expect or we want African women to be like? Okay, I call myself a leader, and then a child cannot come to me to say, Ma, I need this help. And I say, please go and meet your mother. Sometimes we have children that are not our children, but we even support them more than their mothers. A lot of mothers don't have the time for their children. So if we can get this kind of children around us, it starts from there. In your community, I bring like children together to say, okay, who are you? Some will just tell you their names. That's all. What do you want to be? I asked one recently. She said she doesn't know what she wants to be. Coming from a child that the mother is a banker and the father is an engineer, yet the child doesn't know what they want to be because they've not had this kind of conversations. Now, in school, sometimes teachers don't teach you about who you are going to be or what you want to be. They teach you maths, they teach you English, they teach you what they think you need to know. Well, who shapes these young people? A lot of the times in Africa, I think our people are shaped by their environment, not school, not their parents. So if we start by bringing 2 or 3 children together to make them see, okay, yes, it looks like you're good at singing. Let's see how we can encourage you to sing. By the time the child starts singing, another child will say, oh, was that auntie that taught Tolu how to sing or encourage that to sing? And I'll go and meet that auntie too. I'll tell her what I want to do. And she can see how she can help me. So it starts with us. First of all, if we are not intentional about ourselves, we cannot be intentional about anyone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We see a lot of persons as participants. Please go ahead and ask your question. And so maybe for just some coordination, you might want to raise your hand up so we are able to just assign you to speak immediately. But please, Her Majesty is here. Go ahead and shoot your questions. These are times when we are able to hear from unique experiences and tap from her expertise.
Yeah. While we are waiting for people to ask questions, I just wanted to say, Olori, she has a very fantastic platform where she supports a lot of African women as well. And oh, is someone trying to talk? And
No. Probably that was me.
right. And in terms of entrepreneurship, and like you hear from her, she supports women from different ages and bring them together, bring like minds together, and they do great things together. So I really am one of our fan, and I want to say thank you for all you do for us, because when you train a woman, you train the whole nation. So thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your support to all our women. Thank you so much. I'm not sure. I think there's someone raising their hands up. Someone is raising their hands. Okay, I think are you still there? Someone is raising their hands.
Yes. Lorella hand is up.
Please, can you ask
and speak?
Okay, good evening. Thank you so much for that amazing presentation. My name is Lorella, all the way from Nigeria. And my question is this. I know that from what you told us, you said the school does not actually teach what the child wants to be. Now, how do you think we can get the average African woman to be able to probably educate our own children to be able to ask questions? Because the African culture, the African value is we tend to teach our children to be timid. You don't go and say, mommy, I want to be this, or your parents will tell you, oh, you should be this, you should be. For example, now, if I come home like as an African child and I say I want to become an artist, my mother would definitely look at me like, with all the money I spent sending you to school, you cannot think of any other profession to pick rather than becoming an artist. So on what platform do you think the African woman can actually be educated to be able to listen to the girl, especially the girl child? Because fine, the boys are still being given a bit of a hand, a leverage, but the girl child is not giving so much. So how do you think, Ma, that the African man can be intentional to be able to actually instill that level of enabling their African child, girl child, to be able to say, oh, this is what I want to be?
Okay, thank you so much. That's a very good one. It's actually taking me back to something that we plan to do in the course of the year. We want to take this message to schools. We want to start from primary schools. Like I spoke to two schools, one in Ikeja, another school in VI. What we want to be doing is every week, we propose every week. So the school is proposing maybe twice in a month. During their free periods on Wednesdays, we can take them on the things that the school will not teach you, the things that you will not learn at home. We had this program, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, on ethics and law. there are lots of things that children don't understand. And until you take it to them, and I believe that taking it to the schools will help the parents encourage whatever the child wants to become. If you now have a curriculum in school that says a child can be an artist, or just something that is different from our regular commercial classes, art classes, and science classes. Now, even in the art classes, we don't really teach what art should actually be about. Because if we do, a child should be allowed to be an artist. She wants to sing songs. She wants to do music. She wants to be a painter. A lot of Africans don't even encourage painting in the first place. It's just recently that we have a lot of children coming out to paint, put what they know how to do to work. Now, taking it to school will help us a lot to curb these because it has become an issue. Taking it to school will become the best way to go about it. So I'll share with Duchess Africa as it comes up so that some of us can be a part of it. Some of us in Nigeria here can join these seminars in schools, see what it is about, and then still preach it in their own areas as well. Then if you have anywhere or any school you like us to come to share these same ideas, you can bring it to come share these ideas. It will help our children because really, I don't think the schools are really helping our children. They're only teaching what the book says. They're not teaching morals. They're not teaching ethics. They're not teaching what Africans should know.
Exactly.
So that's
All right.
it.
Thank you so much, Royal Highness. Lorella, I think you have been able to gain so much clarity around that. Oftentimes, schools will not be able to even teach you the things you know, especially as young children, where we are oftentimes relegated around again, socializing us within our domestic roles. Painting, for instance, as our Royal Highness has been able to speak to, has not really been a thing, but we can see in recent times, children are able to say that I want to be a painter, and their parents are beginning to accept that. Our second speaker is Her
But you have
Excellency Ma'am Julie Igoma.
My hand is still up, but that means I still have another question.
Sorry.
No, we can you give another person chance, please, so that we can move on to the
Oh,
second
okay.
speaker. We have
Okay.
another person raising our hands. Ayomide.
This hand just actually came up now. Yes, please go ahead and ask your question. Please try as much as possible to be very concise, very brief, so she can be able to speak to your question. Thank you. Yes, please go ahead, unmute yourself and be able to speak.
Ayomide, go ahead and ask your question.
I'm not very sure. I see. Okay.
You've just muted yourself.
So probably to be able to speak, you might unmute yourself, then you can talk, and then we'll be able to hear you. Unmuting yourself will be clicking on the microphone icon.
Okay, I think she has left. I don't know, maybe she's having network issue.
Okay, so we still do have two amazing speakers with a wealth of experience and expertise. I think they can also be able to speak to this, your question. To be able to honor our time, I would like to move directly to our next speaker, whom I earlier said, Her Excellency Mem Julie Igoma. She's a Kigali-based marketing and communications professional with over 20 years of experience across ICT, hospitality, consulting, and multinational environments. She holds a Master's of Business Administration in Hospitality Management from Queen Margaret University, Edinburgh, and a Bachelor of Business Administration in Marketing from the School of Finance and Banking. Eunice, could you kindly mute yourself so we can be able to minimize background noise? She's into strategic planning, brand positioning, stakeholder engagement and end-to-end communications management for high-impact national and regional initiatives, including the launch of Rwanda's national digital payment system, eCash. That's her expertise, how large it spans. She also holds a professional certification from Cornell University School of Hotel Administration and the African Management Institute, and she is recognized for delivering strategic, result-driven communication and business solutions. Ma, please go ahead and speak to us within the theme of our conversation for tonight.
Thank you very much.
Please, it would be nice if we can have videos, your camera on, if possible, please.
Let me do that.
Thank you.
A minute.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much. I am so honored to be on this platform today. Anything that empowers and uplifts women is always welcome. I'll dive in so that we do not take much time. Let me just share my screen with the presentation, and then we can start. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see your screen.
Great. So this theme is very inspiring to me. As a woman, as a young woman, as a woman who loves to inspire other women. And I find it to be more of a blueprint for leading with purpose in the world we're in right now. So tonight, I'll take you through how we can live a bold vision, embed the values to build authentic trust, and then how we can collaborate intentionally to multiply impact. And this matters especially because no woman succeeds in isolation.
No.
Despite the industry you're in, if you're into business, if you're a homemaker, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever sector you're in, or whatever you're doing, you cannot do it in isolation. So take time to think and ask yourself if you have a dream that is bigger than your current reality as we dive into this conversation. So starting with the vision, I would see the vision as the North Star. The vision is this clear picture that you paint for the future you want to create. And it is a practical foundation for leading with impact. When done the right way, we see that this will provide the intentional woman with direction. It will build her resilience, and it will drive her towards different opportunities. But how do we transform this vision into actually embodying it into the intentional woman that we want to be? I would say you start with defining a goal that is precise and then proceeding it to share it. When you share the kind of goal that you have, it gives you accountability, because we see that if anything is vague, then it fades quickly. But if you have a detailed goal, then it gives you that roadmap for you to be able to achieve your vision. So we're looking at having a goal that is specific, that is measurable, that is achievable, that is relevant and time-bound. And once you have this done, the next step you do is to revisit these goals regularly. This is particularly important because it helps you to stay focused. In our journey of life, any kind of journey, you'll always have obstacles, you'll always have challenges. But when you revisit your goals regularly, you find that these challenges are actually detours. You reframe them to be detours, you reframe them to be stepping stones, and you see that they are not actually dead ends. And revisiting the goals, you can do this through journaling if you love to write. If you love visuals, you can have a vision board where you have every representation of the kind of goal that you're looking at and be able to revisit it regularly. It can either be physical or digital, whichever one works for you. And you can also do this by having accountability calls with a mentor. It's important to have a mentor because this is someone that you have that has more experience, or someone walking the same journey as you are, and will be able to guide you, will be able to walk the journey with you, especially when you meet challenges or you meet different hurdles. So I want to draw the intentional woman journey by looking at my early days in my career in telecoms. In my early days of my career, I envisioned myself as a communications expert, someone who will build brands and create impact, national impact actually. And I envisioned at the time our telecom being a top of mind brand in the country. But how would I be able to do this as an intentional woman? I thought of what I could do to be able to reach this vision. And one of the things that was key was to set a goal that was measurable. So I looked at the challenge that we were facing at the moment, and it was huge spending on media platforms. So I said, well, what can we do to address this? So I came up with a goal of boosting brand visibility and media effectiveness by 30% within 1 year. And I took some of the strategies to be able to reach these goals, some of the actions. I had to hold regular and multiple meetings to be able to align what was going on, to brainstorm. And finally, I initiated a survey across media channels, looking at broadcasting, TV, radio, online as well, to be able to see how our communication can how our communication can have more effectiveness across these media channels. And I also revisited the goals regularly. This helped me to maintain focus. Of course, I did a lot of consulting with more experienced colleagues, and this would give me more insights and see where I needed to make adjustments and all that. So the result was reallocation of budgets to high-performing platforms based on the data that we got from the research we carried out. There was optimized media spending and increase in brand visibility and the effectiveness. And it also laid a foundation for stronger campaigns and future leadership roles for me, especially as I was looking to develop myself since I was a junior in this field. So one thing you can ask as an intentional woman is your future. Think about your future. You ask yourself, what future am I committed to creating? Because vision starts from within. It starts from your heart. You get the ideas, and then it comes out into the actions that we create, the strategic actions that we act upon to be able to deliver results. So we see that vision guides us, but this does not work in isolation because the values help us to be grounded and true. So looking at our next, we see that the values ensure ethical and sustainable impact. We have the vision, which is our North Star, and then we have the values, these deep non-negotiable principles that keep us aligned to the path that we're taking, especially when challenges come our way. So we see some of the core values like integrity, empathy, justice, and inclusion. These values, when put together or when taken the right way, will guide our decisions. When we embody these values, they guide our decisions, ensuring that we take ethical actions, and in the end, they create the sustainable impact that we're looking for. And once this is done, we see that there's ripples of positive change, and not only for us as the intentional woman, but for the communities that we live in as well. So you ask yourself, how can you embody these values as an intentional woman? How can you use these values as an intentional woman? First, I would recommend that you review and you reinforce your values. We see that when actions match beliefs, you lead with integrity, and this inspires loyalty. So the values that you hold as an intentional woman will guide you and will prevent you from burnout, because from time to time we get overwhelmed. There's a lot going on in our lives and all that. So to review the values regularly is very key. Carry out a values audit. Think to yourself, ask yourself, are the values that I am embodying right now, are they really creating the change that I want to see? Are they aligned with the vision that I have? And if not, find where to make adjustments. In our workspace, you could consider starting team meetings with a value spotlight. Look for how to encourage your team. Look at someone maybe who embodied one of the values, for example, integrity, or it could be empathy, it could be excellence, or you could also tie these values to performance reviews. The other thing you could do as an intentional woman is to use values to build a culture where everyone feels included. Here you can do that by active listening. Make sure you listen more, try to hear what the other person is saying, and take in their perspective. Amplify the unrepresented ideas, especially from the introverts who will not be able to say much during meetings. And most importantly, model vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but it rather encourages your team to step up and be able to speak up when it's needed. once again, I'll draw from my experiences in my career. While I was leading the sales and marketing at a top hotel in this country, I embodied excellence, the pursuit of excellence. This is one of the values I personally consider very key for me. And excellence is not about being perfect, as some people confuse it to be. It's giving your best, paying attention to the detail, and most importantly, continuous learning. So while in this role, I embodied excellence as one of the values, and this was showing through my daily operations. I leveraged the certifications that I got from Cornell University and decided to draw strategies that were in line with the current values of the organization. And one of the key values was being customer-centric. So I instituted weekly departmental meetings with value audits that ensured that every tactic, every action, every strategy we were taking would remain customer-centric. And through those meetings, I listened to my team to be able to take up their inputs, get the ideas, and together we were able to craft strategies that improved the hotel revenues. The impact of this was having a team that was more confident. They were able to speak up more and express their ideas, and it also fostered an inclusive, empowered environment for them. And later on, for some of the teams members, they were able to advance and even lead bigger roles in other departments in larger hotels when they left the institution. So as an intentional woman, what is that one core value that truly drives you right now? How is it showing up in your daily choices, be it big or small? Feel free to share that in the chat so we can all learn together. So we have seen that the vision is our North Star. Values help us align ethically and have a sustainable impact. But these values do not work in isolation. They shine brightest when they are shared through collaboration. And what is collaboration? Collaboration is that multiplier effect. It amplifies everything that we do as intentional women. So it's connecting intentionally, being able to mentor others, pooling resources, and co-creating. And all these 4 areas put together turn our individual efforts as intentional women into a collective power. But how can we do this? How do we leverage this and be able to embody this in our routines, in our leadership? Because we are all leaders. You're leaders in your homes, you're leaders at work. So you could do this by building intentional, diverse networks with purpose. Studies have shown that diverse connections spark innovation. So teams with varied perspectives will solve any problem much faster up to 87%. And how do you create these diverse networks? One of the channels is by attending events like these that Duchess Africa has organized for us, thanks to them. And the other thing you can do is to audit your network. You look at the gaps that are in there. For example, it could be that your network is only made up of people from the same country, people in your sector, people in your age groups, and yet you need to diversify. So look at the gaps that are there and then start seeking mentors in the different areas where you see the gaps, or it could be from your peers. And once this is done, schedule regular catch-ups to explore mutual goals. And once you schedule these regular catch-ups, start by offering something. Share an introduction that could benefit the other person. Share your experience, share your ideas to be able to co-create. The other strategy you could use is to co-create with authenticity and inclusion for deeper results. And how do you do this? You could do this through brainstorming, different sessions. You could do this digitally by sharing docs online and be able to have inputs. And when you do this, it helps you to align anything that any of the values that you may have that are not well connected, any of the actions that you need to take and do some adjustments. All that will come under inviting early input before it's too late. The other thing you can do is to celebrate collective wins and be able to also address conflict with empathy, because the two combined will be able to build trust and leverage the strengths that you have. I'll again look at an experience that I've had in my career. I recently led a project for a fintech product launch. And in this project, I was able to build intentional networks and also inclusively co-create. So for the intentional networks, I built alliances, specifically with the influencers that we are going to work with media outlets, with the different stakeholders that were involved in this project. And this helped me because we were facing very tight deadlines. And because of these tight deadlines, we needed to have everything aligned in time. So I scheduled weekly catch-ups, and through these weekly catch-ups, like I had explained in the previous slides, for you to build intentional networks and be able to co-create, you need to share value first. So in these weekly catch-ups, I shared insights on preparedness and coordination, and was also able to get feedback from the different stakeholders. Early input sessions shaped key deliverables for this particular project, especially for press kit development, social media calendars, and we were also able to celebrate collective wins, especially the successful launch of the press conference before the actual day of the event. So this created an impact where the product launch transformed from just being a product launch into a high impact event, because it connected financial institutions for digital transformation and also advanced the country's vision of being a fully interoperable cashless economy. So such strategies leverage the power of sisterhood worldwide. And it's through this that we see the multiplier effect of collaboration as intentional women. So for all those who have attended this session today, I would like to call out to you to reach out to at least one woman here. You can do this here or back home, or why not both? Reach out to one woman here, reach out to one woman back home within this week, and find out a way you can explore a collaboration. What would you be able to create together? So in conclusion, we see that values, vision, and collaboration create a truly unstoppable impact for an intentional woman. As intentional women, your vision sets the direction, your values act as a compass or a line, keep you aligned, and your collaboration multiplies the entire change that you're looking for. So let us commit today as intentional women to at least refine one part of your vision. It could be a personal vision. It could be a collective vision with a group of support women that you may have, and leave out at least one core value more boldly and spark one new collaboration. Remember, the impact starts with your intentional step.
Yeah.
As intentional women, we need to step out and rise intentionally, and the world will rise with us. As global Duchess Africa Global Connect would put it, together we rise,
Yeah.
connect, we thrive. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Her Excellency Igoma. Thank you so much for sharing from your word of expertise. And I think this is what even makes the entire convening very interesting, because we are not just hearing from women in the community, but we're hearing from women who are actually doing the work. I would indulge our audience to be able to write down your questions so that we can be able to move with our last speaker. Once she's able to speak, then we would be able to take all your questions. We would like to do this just so that you can be able to interact with the speakers with a very much time frame. Much time, I would like to narrate leader, publisher, and technology professional, renowned for amplifying African voices and empowering women through strategic media and advocacy. As a founder of Custodian Global Consorts Limited, she oversees a portfolio including Duchess International Magazine and the charitable initiative Duchess Africa, who of course is our host for today. Alongside her media work, she maintains a significant IT career at Surrey County Council and serves as a researcher for the University of Kent. Her extensive civic responsibility includes being the first Black president of the Rotary Club of Crowley and a board member for Police, Race and Diversity, making her a respected figure bridging technology, media, and community impact. Ma, please go ahead and be able to speak now within our team.
Oh, thank you so much. To be honest, I had some questions for Mrs. Jolly, but yeah, if you want us to leave it to the last, we would. And don't forget also, she asked us to put some things on the chat, which we have done. So that's fine. You're the boss here. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Yes, once again, my name is Duchess Bolaji. Ma is just going to be a reflection, because when I look at an intentional woman, I remember it was more like a quote or um Oprah Winfrey was talking about, and she said that it is very important we live our truest life, truest self. And she said in that video that I watched, she said, your cup has to be full and over before you could actually support the other woman. So I would say living your truest life, the foundation of impact. And I will talk a little bit about my journey. And I was quite interested in some of the presentation that Miss Jolly was actually presenting. I was jotting them down. And mine is about growing up. We talk about early years, growing up. And Olori also mentioned it as well. It's not all of us that all has a guardian like that. Though, yes, we have our parents. Yes, we go to school. But in as much as we do that, some of our parents do not understand, okay, at a particular time, this is how you actually talk to your child. This is what you discuss with her. This is what our expectation in life has to be. She has to know this when she goes to the world, so she's not going to make too many mistakes. This is the journey and the path that you just guide her. A few of us don't have that. And what that means is, for us to learn or gain an experience, we have to make a mistake. And how many mistakes do you really want to make in life to get to where you're going, and to become very, very intentional about yourself? And I will start my journey. When I started my journey, I made a lot of mistakes. I made so many mistakes, silly mistakes, and people will look at me and feel like, oh, but that's so easy. But it might be easy to you, but it might not be easy to me, because I've not seen that before. Thank God for the world of social media. Now there's so many things going on at the moment. And my question is, to be an intentional woman, how do you really how can you define yourself as an intentional woman? Everybody can claim to be intentional. I remember going to an event, and we were all asked to introduce ourselves. At that moment, I would say in my own lane, I was doing well. But because there was no one that actually said to me that, look, Bola, you're actually doing well, I keep looking for what wasn't lost. And on that table, everyone was talking about themselves, was introducing themselves. And I introduced myself. However, the lady sitting next to me, and I said to her that, look, I'm looking for a mentor. And what was she said to me? She's like, you've just introduced yourself now. You said you're a business analyst. You said you have a publishing magazine. She said, look around this all. Some of these women that you're seeing in this world, they have no job. Yes, they go online and say, oh, we do this, we do this, we do this. But what do they really do? So if I can encourage you with anything, sister, you're really, really doing well. We can all say we're intentional, but are you really living your truest life? Would you say to yourself that when it's come to me, I am content with myself? Because being intentional does not mean you're rich. It does not mean you have the best job in the world. For me, I would define being intentional as being content with where you are and being grounded, being full. Because before I can actually extend my hands and support you, I must be full. My cup must be full. And when it's full, then I can actually, obviously, when it's flowing over, I can flow and actually support other people. So I'm not going to take so much of your time. My question was, Joby, are you really an intentional woman? If you sit down now and write down 10 attributes about yourself, where you are at the moment, what you're doing at the moment. Because I remember there was a speaker I listened to, and she said, fake it till you make it. Are you just faking it to make it? Or are you really true to yourself to say, look, I need help? And like our last speaker said, let us share emails and see how we could support ourselves. Are you going to admit that, look, I am here, but where I am at the moment, I think I need help? Are you in your comfort zone? Are you reaching out to other people? Are you only reaching out to your kind of people? Are you growing? I think we should, if we can actually answer those questions, then we can move on to the to the next level. I wouldn't want to take too much of your time, but I'd like us to answer and actually look at the chart for what the last speaker just said about values, because it's very important you know who you are. And don't deceive yourself. Be true to yourself and say, look, this is where I am at the moment. In my own experience, people call me, they say to me that, oh, you're too quiet. No, you're not quick. No, you're not. But for me, I feel like this is where I am at the moment. And I have to be, for me not to be shaken, I have to know who I am. I have to be able to sit down, analyze myself and know what my capacity is. So sometimes, yes, it's okay to say no. You know, some people, you will feel like, I don't want to say no to her because she'll stop talking to me. If she's your friend, she won't stop talking to you. You know, you have to know yourself. And I would leave by saying, can you write down 10 attributes about yourself? You don't need to share it here. Look at those 10 attributes and think about it. Are you really, really yourself? Are you really true to yourself? Do you need to do some do you need to improve in one particular way? Or what help do you need to improve? Do you know of someone that is really doing well than yourself and you want to reach out to? We have Mrs. Jolly on the line. We have Olori on the line. We have so many women with wealth of experiences that are doing well in different walks of life on this platform. And we also have them on our WhatsApp platform. You can honestly come to our platform and say, okay, I want to start a business in this and I don't have experience. And watch if someone is not going to hold your hands. I think the world we are at the moment is very important. You understand that collaboration is key. You can't do it alone. And that is why we have different countries on this platform. That is why we have to collaborate with different organizations. You have to, because no man is an island. And the only way you could grow, the only way you could understand what is happening in the world is through collaboration. And that would now bring impact. That is how you could impact. Like when I started Duchess Africa Foundation, I realized that I have younger ladies coming to me, and some of their parents are bringing them to me and saying to me that, oh, but I want you to mentor my daughter. And I felt like, how do I mentor them? What do I do? So I had to start another platform for younger girls between the age of 20 and 30. And my plan is to be able to have meetings with them, one-to-one with them, you know, talk to them and see where they are in their life, in all area of their lives, all area, and see what I can do to support them. And in the process, I would also bring women that have more knowledge than I have into their midst to talk to them, to impact them, and they can pay it forward as well. So I wouldn't want to take so much of our time because I want us to ask questions and I want us to answer, and I want us to, if anybody has a reflection or something they want to add, so they will be able to add it to it. So thank you so much for attending today's virtual event. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to more collaboration and impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Duchess. We have been talking the intentional one, how vision, values, and collaboration shapes impact. As a young person myself working on gender equality and empowering women and girls, I've always been a firm believer that it is not just because we are women, we have been relegated, that we continue to say we want to sit at the table. It's important for us to be able to show value, bring impact, and bring fresh perspectives so that policymakers can be able to take us seriously. I want to be able to look at my chat at this moment, and I'm drawing back to our previous speakers when she was able to talk about, defining your goals and always revisiting your goals. Like I earlier said, you just want to be in that space because you're a woman, or you actually have value you want to bring on the table. As young people, everybody wants to identify as an executive director, but do you truly have a vision? Do you truly have a plan? Do you truly have a strategy? And our previous speaker, Her Excellency Ma Iguma, said it's important for us to be able to define our goals and to be able to revisit these goals. And she asked the question, what are our core values? I see in chat some of us were able to drop down key core values. We see discipline, of course, for myself. We have from Stella, my current value is no excuses. There's really no excuses for why, as women and girls, we really cannot achieve what we set our minds to. We hear from Juliet, who writes persistence and being intentional. We have to be intentional about the work we do. Otherwise, we might not be able to carry it on to completion. In terms of collaboration with what Duchess Abolaji has been able to talk about, we cannot operate as in isolation. It's important for us to collaborate together because that's when we are able to create a more impact. I see we've been able to drop our emails in the chat box. Please reach out to amazing women with so much expertise and experience. They would be willing to hold your hand through. At this point, I would like to set the tone and the pace for engaging with our speakers. You might want to ask direct questions and mention the speaker's name. And then, yes, Ma, you want to say something?
There's a question on the chat. There's a question from Mofat Oyeyemi. She said, how do you build confidence in a male-dominated spaces?
Okay. So we take that first. Any of the speakers who want to go first? Ma Igoma, would you want to speak to that?
Yes, please. I would say be confident in what you can do. That is one. And live out those core values. For example, for me, I mentioned excellence. This is not just at my workplace. This is one of my core values, life values. So when people see that you're really serious about what you do and you mean what you say with integrity, then they'll give you that respect. They'll be able to give you a seat at the table, but actually you take the seat. You don't wait for them to the seat at the table. You take the seat by being confident in who you are and living your values. And yeah, for every woman out there, it's never easy in a male-dominated world. Some will want to look down on you, but be confident. I'm not saying be disrespectful. Just be confident and stand your ground as long as you're doing the right thing. And of course, as a girl helped by God, I would say commit your way to the Lord and He shall direct your path.
Absolutely. Thank you. So
thank you so much.
You want me to
More
answer?
questions?
Do you want me
Yes.
to also come into that as well?
Absolutely.
I am an IT security analyst, and I started my journey as a system engineer. When I started, I was working with 9 men. I was the only lady, and I was the only Black woman. So coming into the first time I get into the office, was first the only Black woman, the only woman. I feel like I was going to collapse to myself. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was in that office for a year. I was working hard, but I wasn't confident in myself. I don't know. I just feel unworthy to be in their midst. So leaving that office, I moved on to be a system analyst, where I started working with, it was a team of 20 people, 18 men and 2 women. And I made up my mind that I'm going to have a seat at this table. No one is going to shake me or take me away. And when I start my job and when the report comes out, I lead because we had to close some calls and everything. When the statistic comes up, I'm always the first. So when I close 1,000 calls, my next person may be closing 700 calls. So yes, I had to work twice as hard, but I had to make my mark and sit at that table. From that office, which was the first line, I was moved to the third line, and that is where I am at the moment. So when you are in that midst, in a male-dominated environment, yes, as a woman, sometimes it look like you are going to work twice as hard, but it still come down you staying true to yourself. Make sure you don't go into an office and be looking for someone to gossip with. Face what you're doing. Be true to yourself. Be confident in yourself. You will excel. Sometimes it might look to you like, I don't even know what is happening. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Don't worry about what is happening in the other room. Don't worry about what they're doing at the lunch or what. Just do your job. You will be surprised where it's going to lead you. That's my answer to that question.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have to be on the table. You have to bring value on that table as well. I'll just read through a couple of chats. Setting key boundaries. Setting boundaries is key. Persistence, integrity. Keep your head held high. The next question is: how can an introverted person build an intentional network? My Goma, you might want to speak to that. Duchess, you'd also would you also like to speak to that question?
How do you build an intentional network?
How can an introverted person build an intentional network?
Well, the introverted person doesn't want to be out there. So I would say schedule virtual calls. That's one thing that you can do. Have a one-on-one because they might be intimidated by big groups. The other thing they could do, try to create meaningful relationships, and through those, the small network of the genuine relationships that you have created, since you're more of a one-on-one person, you'll be able to get other connections that will be able to expand your network intentionally. But other than that, the things that I talked about, having a clear vision, map out those goals that you want, ask yourself what kind of opportunities that you're looking at, and then with that, it may also give you a clear picture of how to navigate that. I don't know if I answered that really.
Yeah. Ayomide, I hope my Goma has been able to answer that for you. Just to
can I also chip in as well? And I think the first speaker
yes,
is also
please.
in.
That's what I wanted to question.
My question to you would now be, Ayomide, would you say Dangote is an extrovert? Would you say the founder of Facebook, Zach, would you think he's an introvert or an extrovert? I feel like majority of businesses that have been built in this world are built by introverts. My own observation. Please, I stand to be corrected. And what they do is they employ people into skills that they cannot do. Most of these people are introverts. They live within themselves. They curate all of these things and they employ other skills to help them push it out. I might be wrong, but That would be my answer to that question. Look at all the top CEOs in the world. Take 10 of them and see most of them are introverts. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. Just to quickly put it out to us that our very first speaker, Her Royal Highness Olori, is back. She spoke very extensively around who an intentional woman is. We might have had some questions to her earlier, but you can also put those questions to her now. So let's continue with our questions.
You have Karen's hands up. Karen.
Yes, Karen, please be able to speak.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
This is such a powerful event, first time joining. And it's a good way to also reflect. I'm in a male dominated industry, and I'd put it in the chat that you need to set out clear boundaries, because you can be in a space, especially men who want to try to put you down, say negative comments. So you need to be true to yourself. That's one. And know what is your core value in that space. So those are just my 2 cents on that. Then the other question, for an introvert, how do you build intentional networks? I'm an introvert myself, but how I get to do that is go on such events. Pick out one person that you see aligns to your goal. And then secondly, you could even go out for a walk with a couple of people that you can easily connect and see how you can connect to that person. So, thank you. Those are my 2 cents.
Thank you so much. While probably we might just want to ask a question, maybe in the chat box, maybe just raise a hand. Is anyone speaking? Yes,
please, can you mute, please? Someone is.
Yes, okay. Good evening, everyone.
Is it that you're speaking at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Everyone.
Be
First of all, start by appreciating the. Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I said, I'll start by appreciating the founder of this initiative and every speakers that have said something on the topic given to them. My question goes to Olori. While she was talking, she said something about intentional women and emotion, that intentional women will not allow their emotion to control them. So my question is, how will an intentional person regulate this emotion? You know, emotion will just, before you know it, is an impulse just happen out of control. So how do we tend to regulate this emotion whenever we are at that particular mood? So that's my question to Lori. Thank you.
Thank you. Her Royal Highness, are you able to speak at this moment?
Yes, I can speak at this time. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Yes, when it comes to emotions, women, yes, we are emotional. But for us to be intentional, we have to be able to control our emotions. Yes, it's not a magic. It's not something you can do overnight. It's something that you practice, and with time, you'll be able to perfect it. Because if we cannot control our emotions, we cannot be intentional at all. For example, now, you have a child that you know that is not doing very well. But because it's your child, you try to pet them, you try to make excuses for them. If you are intentional, you allow that child make their mistakes, tell them where their mistakes are, and then correct them without being emotional. That's the only way you can get that child to do better. So if you want to be unemotional when it comes to being intentional, you have to first learn how to take things seriously. Because if we stay the way we are, we will not grow. Yes, you want to make you want to do a business, you plan to start next month. If you're not intentional about it, you keep saying, no, I'll do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. Don't worry. Next month is not far away. I'll do it next month. You need to make up your mind and start by putting something down. Once you do that, you have put your emotions aside. Now you're taking your life seriously. Nobody will take your life seriously for you. It's in your place to take it seriously. So put whatever it is that you know are the barriers, put it aside. You can start small. Yes, you can be unemotional today, tomorrow you are emotional. Yes, before you know, you become an emotional stable person. It's not magic. But if you take out time to learn how to be emotional when it gets to things that concerns you, you get there very fast.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that. I would like to ask my own question. Of course, not just being a moderator, but also an active participant in the conversation. I would like to ask you, Her Royal Highness, Ma, as an advocate for continuous education, how do we integrate lifelong learning into our professional life? And I'm asking this coming from a place where once we are able to attend probably a workshop or a seminar, the next minute we are uploading on our social media handle saying we are experts and we are life coaches. You know, we are so educated, we don't want to hear anything again. Now we want to be able to tutor the entire world. But as young people, and given that life long learning is a core value for you, how do we embed all of this into our professional lives? How in what ways can you encourage young people like myself and those of us that are in Koye, young people in Koye, to adopt a similar mindset for personal and professional growth?
Okay, so first of all, I will use myself as an example. I have attended over 100 workshops, seminars, professional courses, name it. But I will not tag myself as a speaker or want to come and train people. I'm doing this right now because the people that have put this together have the same kind of mindset as me. I'm someone that like to go to a workshop, take what I've learned there, put it in my own life first, see that I am able to put that to work before I can come out and tell someone else to do that same thing. A lot of people just become a professional at something, but actually not practice that thing. So when you attend seminars or workshops like this, first of all, go back home. Take time to put yourself, play yourself in these scenarios and see if you have been able to take back something from whatever it is you have been learning over time. Put that together and you see that you'll be able to do a lot of telling, teaching, and speaking to people. Because now you understand it from your own point of view. You're not judging based on the other person's or the lecturer's point of view. Have your own scenario so that it's easy for you to tell a story and someone will understand it based on you, who you are. So that's how it works for me.
Thank you so much, Ma. I see Her Excellency Marjolie has been able to comment that it's a good question. I don't know if you want to reflect around that. Also, I would just like to speak to us that we might want to put our cameras on so we would be able to pick up good pictures for our evening convening. Yeah. Please, Ma, if you would love to speak to that question, go ahead at this point. Marjolie.
Actually, Her Highness put it very well. I have no further comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Just also to be mindful, we are wrapping up interesting conversations, rich learnings. I'm looking at my chat. I'm not seeing any question. Maybe making use of the next few minutes, I might just want to ask a question too. Her Excellency Marjorie, in your experience managing communications for high impact initiatives, what best practices have you established for engaging stakeholders and how do you measure its effectiveness? And I'm also asking, as a young person working back in country in Cameroon, where my career was had transitioned last year to basically stakeholder engagement. I had moved from community sensitization, awareness, reason, and mobilization to translating the works I have done in the communities to actual actions at policy and decision-making spaces. How do what best practices can we use to engage stakeholders? Because I mean, oftentimes for them to even want us to be in those spaces is a challenge. Now, when you're actually there, even when you have, the proposals or the suggestions to put on the table, it's also difficult to even engage them to listen to you. So my question will be around how do we engage them? Thank you.
Thank you, Welisen. One of the things that I found very helpful is to have a compelling why. What is the reason for this communication? Make it very clear. Most of the times we're dealing with busy executives. So find that compelling why for the communication and put it out there as soon as possible. Don't go so much into the story that someone gets lost before they even hear what it is that you want. Bring out the why and then build around it and show them what impact this will create. The other thing I found helpful is always getting feedback. Once you've been able to get someone to buy in by putting out your compelling why and creating your story and then showing the impact, is to always get feedback. And the feedback will help you to be able to make adjustments where necessary. We live in a dynamic world, and always getting the feedback is very key. But all this you will do after carrying out your own research before you even go for all those presentations and everything. And yeah, those are the things that I found helpful for me.
Thank you so much, Ma. Please ask your questions. These are times we cherish so much. When we're able to interact with experts in the field, there's just so much we can be able to learn. We've already been able to establish that we might not be able to learn everything in the classroom. These are also spaces where we can be able to get very rich insights. So questions are very much welcome. We still have a couple of minutes for that. Reflections, comments as well. Just checking to see if there's any hand raised or any question in the comment box. Otherwise, I might just want to ask one last question for myself, from myself. And this question will be going to Duchess Abolaji. We've been able to talk about visioning, and my question will be, looking ahead, what is your vision for Duchess International Magazine over the next 5 years, and how do you plan to adapt to the evolving media landscape while also maintaining your core mission? And I'm also asking this so that it can begin to trigger our minds to know that we don't just operate in the now, but it's important for us to envision, but also begin to strategize, because it also gives us clarity in terms of these strategies we are looking at. Does it align with our core mission? That's when you're able to identify gaps and probably begin to develop strategies to be able to close those gaps. So please go ahead, Ma, speak to us in terms of what are your vision for the magazine for the next 5 years?
Right, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, the vision for Duchess Africa Global Connect. Already we've started, like a few years ago, we started in Rwanda. And the vision is for us as African women to connect and come together, to collaborate, and actually let's let's they say a drop of water would make an ocean, and we have to start from somewhere. I know that this vision is not, I'm not the first person or the second person that would have started it, but I'm just starting in my own, based on my experience and what I have experienced in European countries. I realize that the future is female and the future is Africa. You know, and how can I be part of that future? What impact can I make? And that was why I started Duchess Africa. I'm an Africa. I've been in the UK for a long time, but I still want to be able to bring my children back home to make them understand that, look, you're Africa. I have some friends in here that they're scared to even come to Africa countries, and they're Africans. It's not, they're just scared. They don't know why they're scared. When we had our last event in Senegal, I remember I had one of my friends, she's Zimbabwean, and she was like, oh, so what happened when I get to the airport? Will they let me in? So we joked, we're like, no, you're going to be deported. And, it brings, my hype, like, why would you think they won't let you in? You're an African. And you have to be proud and you have to be looking forward to go to any African countries. What I have learned from starting Duchess Africa is when we started from Rwanda, we went to Rwanda, it was, I feel proud to be an African because we were able to get into it without a Nigerian passport, without a visa, without a fee, And I remember some of my friends asked to pay $60 because they are having their European passport. And when I left Rwanda, went to Kenya, we have to have visas. And then we start talking about borders. You realize that some of our borders are still closed. Yes, some of us, we have to still get visas to get to some of our countries. And I felt like, okay, what can we also do as African women? How can we come together, collaborate together, and have a strong voice in decision making when it's come to things that matters to African country? So what we're looking at in the next, well, we're meant to go to Ethiopia in March, but I don't know how. I'm still waiting for that invitation. We want to go to African Union. We want to be part of African Union. We want to be recognized by them. And we want to be able to set up networks all over African countries. We've already started it. Like I said, I have a group now where I have young women from, well, young ladies, I would call them, from the age of 20 to 30, where they are going to be our country representative. And we and few of my colleagues are going to mentor them and support them, and they will be able to carry the brand, and we would be able to come into every country to be able to talk about what matters to us, the change that we need as African women. Because even though there is social media today, in the world of social media, and even a lot of things are happening, there's a lot of changes. Even if you still go online and type in a particular experience in woman, it won't bring you an African woman. It will bring you a white woman. It will bring you different countries, American woman. It would also bring you a Black American woman before you get to African woman. And like we all agree, we need to bring our seat to the table. Having this connect and moving with this movement, I'm hoping in the next 5 years, we would already have a seat on the table. When it's come to African Union, will be in there. UN will also be in there. And aside from that, we would have been able to empower a lot of our young girls, and they will be able to take on the mantle and do great things. So my vision for the next 5 years is for us, like I said, we should have been able to be members of African Union. We should have been able to be taking part in things that matter to us in there. And we should have older women and younger women that would be able to represent us in all countries. We've just started. I have a platform, and that platform, I only have a few of them. Yes, like you can see, Walisen is from Cameroon. The first event we had Lisa from Kenya. And I am moving on. I'm moving on to have young girls from Rwanda, from Senegalese, from different countries. We come together, we have meetings, we have trainings with them. I'm trying to create a platform where it'll be easier for them to go around the world, even European countries. We are going to train them, empower them, and they will be able to carry the mantle. And I want to remind you, Duchess is more of a married woman. Duchess is married to a queen. And Duchess, obviously, as a woman, you have a male child, you have a female child. So yes, it's about our young girls. Also, it's about our young men as well, or young boys as well. If you look at the world today, yes, the world, the future is female. Our
Yeah.
boys are getting weaker, our girls are getting stronger. Yes, we will keep making them stronger. However, do not forget they're going to get married to someone, and when you're too strong, and the other vessel is weak, what happens? So as we are carrying on with our girls, we have to also remember to bring our boys as well. So the
Thank
plan is in the next 5 years, we'll be able to align with that vision with the help of our speakers and with the help of everyone on this platform. And with the help of, we have a lot of great women that are actually in support of this vision, and men will be able to carry this vision forward. And in the next 5 years, we will smile and look back at today and say, yes, we've done well. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
And you
Dr.
don't mind me to talk about the Egypt event?
I just want to say that please, very pretty faces, first of all, do well to turn your cameras on if you're able to do so, so we can be able to capture the moment. I don't know if I should say I would like to invite you or usher in you again, because you're actually the last person who has been speaking. But I would like Duchess Abolaji to talk to us about our upcoming event, the Duchess International Women's Conference in Cairo, Egypt. Please do talk to us about it. So there are a lot of us here who might be interested to attend, and you get more details.
Thank you. Thank you. We have our International Women's Day event in Egypt this year. We have previously been to Rwanda, we've been to Kenya, we've been to Senegal. This year we're going to Egypt, and the event is on the 22nd and 25th of April 2026. So it's in few weeks, I would say. And if you're interested in attending the event, please, you can actually reach out to me. You can actually reach out to the facilitator as well. And like I said, we have few representatives in different countries that are also working on getting more people in. I have dropped my email address. I will drop my contact as well. And this event, I will drop the website as well. So you can have a look and look at the success stories, how we don't only go into this event to talk. We talk, we network, and we take it to the next level. And that's why we have the Duchess platform. And we carry the conversation onto the Duchess platform, where you could keep connecting, keep supporting each other. And then we would, at some point, introduce trainings as well. And we will introduce, I have had few people that have said they don't want to only go to African countries. They want to come to European countries, different countries as well. We will also introduce that, we're just 4 years into the organization, and we thank God it's really doing well. So just give us time, we'll get there. But at the moment, we're going to Egypt. I look forward to everyone attending the Egypt event. Please come to me if you have any question. No question is a bad question or a good question. Just ask. We might be able to work around a lot of things. I hope more of you would be able to attend the event and just feel it. It's a 4 days event. The first day we do our meet and greet. The second day we do tree planting. For every country we go to, we make sure we plant a tree there. And we didn't. Yes, we plant a tree there. The third day we go sightseeing into the city and see all the historical story, listen to the historical stories, and the view of Egypt. The last day is our main event, and we're going to have our conference in the morning between now 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock, and we have our dinner and award ceremony in the evening. I'll obviously still come to some of you also to reach out to you regarding if you're interested. You can drop your email if you want me to contact you regarding it, or your phone number. I can share with you our brochure. We have a particular brochure where it talks about all that we've done when it's come to Rwanda, Kenya, Senegal, and what we intend to do as well. So thank you for joining us, because I know we've only got like 3 minutes left. I really appreciate your time. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you so much. Thank you for actually thank you for all your words and your encouragement. I hope we would be able to take on the specific things, anything that that matches with you in what our first speaker, our second speaker, and even myself have said. You'll be able to actually put it down and try and work around it. Like Olori said, an intentional woman does not necessarily to be perfect. It's not a perfect woman, but you need to keep working on yourself. So thank you so much. We look forward to our next event in March. So thank you for attending. I'll leave it to you guys.
Thank you. I would love to put faces on all of the names I've seen here in Cairo, Egypt in April. We have come to the end of our conversation, but I also want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for participating in the International Woman, How Vision, Values, and Collaboration Shape Impact. Your presence and contribution have highlighted the power of collective actions and the importance of nurturing our shared values in driving meaningful change. Our honorable speakers exemplifies the impact that vision and strategic leadership can have on communities. The unwavering commitment to youth development, literacy, women's empowerment, I think to me serves as a beacon of hope and an aspiration for us all. As we live here today, it's important for us to carry forward the insights and connections we have made, fostering collaborations within our spheres of influence. Remember that our individual journeys, when intertwined with the goals of others, create a powerful tapestry of change. It's important for us to continue to support one another, uplift our communities, and strive for excellence in our respective endeavors. I firmly believe that we can break barriers and redefine possibilities. Thank you once again for your engagement and commitment to this vital convening. Yes, to a future where international action leads us to unprecedented heights of empowerment and impact. Lastly, I will say that for the invitation we got before we could register or to even sign in for this convening, there's a WhatsApp link under it. You might just want to join our platform, our general platform, where you get access to a whole lot of other information. Thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you an amazing Sunday. What a Valentine's without speaking to the core of women's empowerment. Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Good
all.
night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
It's
Thank
been
you.
wonderful being on this program.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining.
Bye, Nifi.